All right, let's step right into the blizzard of mystery surrounding the trailer for The Snowman Comes. We're going to unpack the clues here and try to get a handle on a killer who seems, well, less like a man and a lot more like a force of nature. So it all kicks off with this one single, really ominous line. Right away, you're thrown into this community that's just completely gripped by shock and fear. This isn't just another crime, It's something that has totally shattered their whole sense of safety. Okay, so first things first, let's really dig into the crimes themselves. Because to understand this hunter, we have to understand how he hunts, and maybe even more important, what he does with his victims afterwards. And the sheer speed of it all is staggering. I mean, 6 victims in just 2 months. This isn't some killer who takes his time. He's a predator on a total spree, and that body count is just climbing and climbing, creating this palpable sense of dread all across town. And it's not slowing down. It's actually getting faster. 2 bodies in a single week? That tells you the killer is getting bolder, maybe more frantic, or, I don't know, maybe he's just desperate to be seen. It's cracking up the pressure on the investigators to an absolutely unbearable level. And here's the thing that's so crucial. The victims aren't hidden. Not at all. They're deliberately put on display, left out in the open like some kind of grotesque trophies. This just completely transforms the murder from a secret act into a performance, a public spectacle of terror that's absolutely designed for an audience. So, what does that tell us? It tells us this killer wants attention. Leaving bodies out like that is a totally brazen announcement of his presence. But the real question is, what's the message he's trying to send? All right, so we've seen the what, now we have to ask who. But trying to profile this killer, well, that turns out to be the investigation's absolute biggest challenge. Yeah, this really sums up the whole problem for the investigators. They know they're hunting a man, right? A person. But his methods are so elusive, he feels more like an ice-cold ghost with a pulse. I mean, how do you even begin to catch something that leaves a trail of bodies but absolutely zero trace of himself? And maybe the most terrifying part of all is this little nugget. He isn't some monster lurking in the shadows. Nope. The killer is one of them. He's hiding in plain sight, right behind a smile, which means every single neighbor is suddenly a potential suspect. Every serial killer has a signature, a calling card, and this one's is particularly haunting. So let's try to decode the most cryptic piece of this puzzle, the snowman. I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? Why snowmen? The symbol is almost childlike, but it's become this marker of pure evil. Is it a taunt? Is it some kind of clue to who he is? Or does it mean something far, far more sinister? And just when you think you might be getting a handle on the motive, the whole investigation takes this sharp, terrifying turn. This line here, it suggests we've all been looking at the wrong thing. The snowman, it's just a misdirection. And then, boom, there it is, the chilling reveal. The snowman isn't the threat. Not really. It's a timer. It's this horrifying promise of what the spring thaw is going to uncover. It's like a temporary monument to a permanent horror that's hidden just beneath the surface. Which brings us to the final, frantic piece of this whole investigation. A killer who's basically operating on a schedule dictated by the weather itself. So here's the truly terrifying connection. The storms aren't just creating a moody atmosphere. They are the catalyst for the violence. The killer doesn't just use winter as cover. He's actually activated by it. The second a storm arrives, it means death is coming with it. You see, the investigators are trapped in this completely hopeless loop. A storm rolls in, a body appears, and then a frantic hunt begins all over again before that clock just resets. They're not just hunting a man anymore. They're trying to break a pattern that's dictated by nature itself. The stakes could not possibly be higher. I mean, this isn't just about solving a case now. It's about pure survival. Every single weather forecast becomes a threat. And failure doesn't just mean a cold case. It means more bodies buried under all that snow. And this line, this metaphor, just perfectly captures the essence of their struggle. Think about it. How do you fight something as inevitable, as overwhelming as winter? The killer isn't framed as a man you can catch, but as an elemental force you just have to endure. And that's really the question that just hangs in the air, isn't it? When a killer's methods are tied to the seasons, when his presence feels as unstoppable as a blizzard, well, the normal rules just don't apply. So how do you hunt a ghost who rides in on the storm?